I have a
Yes, sir, we can see.
bigger file which has employee ID name and salary, country. Let's assume that country is the another column. We have this. Okay, in this file I have all the fields. Country also I have. Okay, so India, like this it is there. Okay, now 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 I want to query India in this. I want to query India in this. What I will do, I will write a query. What is the query I will do here? Select star from EMP where country equal to IN. Yes or no, guys? We will do like this. Yes or no? This is our select query from SQL. Okay. When I do this, what will happen? When I do this, what will happen? There is something called, it will start compiling, start executing, right? It will start executing line by line. It will start executing line by line. It will start scanning whole thing. It started scanning whole thing. It will take India, it will take US, it will take UK, it will take Canada, it will take Japan, it will take China, it will take Pakistan, it will take all the records. After that, it will filter out only India records. After that, it will filter out. After that, it will filter out India records, right? Then it will display all India records. Yes or no, guys? Correct? This is our result. Now let's assume that what your queries did, your query started scanning whole data. So why to do that? To scan whole data, let's assume that it is taken 50 seconds. Okay, if I have same data has been broken into pieces, that pieces will call partitions. How the partitions are like, let's look at this. Based on some key. What is our key here? Country, right? Let's assume that I have divided like this. Here I'll have only India records. I mean, it will also be in the table format only. Let's assume that it has been broken. Let's first part is only India records will be there, and second part will be only US records. Next will be only UK records, right? So like here US, here UK. Now I have written this query. What it will do? This query directly it will go to India. It will start scanning here. Correct? Yes or no? It's really not required to scan other two. It's really not required to scan other two parts, right? This division, this breaking, this division we will call partitioning. How we will do the division, on what basis we will do the division, we will see as part of this session today. Okay, this is called partitioning. I hope you guys understand what is a partitioning. Partitioning is nothing but breaking your large data into small manageable part to achieve better performance. In this case, when I do this select star country equal to India, I will get only 20 seconds. The job will execute. Yes or no?
So, Ravi,
Yeah.
Rishu here.
like,
Hello.
Yeah. Go ahead, guys.
Uh, I'm asking first, basically, whatever query you have written.
Hmm.
So actually, I want to know if the whatever partition you are doing, is logically will be partition, or you are using only condition, so it will fetch the data. Is like that. Because
It is
I
physically
understand.
also. It will be physically also stored in different ways.
Okay. So basically, in what I have learned before in partitioning, what in the there it will be mentioned in with table something partition part also. Here you are taking only EMP table name, and there you are giving some condition which country is equal to India. So I'm little bit
No.
confused.
This condition is selecting the query. This condition is nothing but selecting.
Yeah, that's right. Just because normal query, normal SQL query, I'm giving some condition in particular one table. I'm fetching the data like that.
Hmm. But here,
So yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm trying making you understand, Rishu here. So here, what is happening? The same query will work on the partition table and the non-partition table both. Okay. So when you see from the Hive, you really know, you really not don't see any difference. When you see from the Hive, you really not see any difference. But when you see from HDFS, it actually stores in two different places.
Okay. So logically and physically, from this side it will partition, and we will get the physical partition file.
Correct.
So in so basically, the other question is ki if we will do the partition of particular one table, one file, so that file also will be available and partition file in other place, or that original file will be removed.
That we will be seeing that ratio. I understand your question. Okay, that I will show you. That is what we are going to do hands-on. Okay, Abhishek, the ratio question is that when we say partition, is there physical partition or logical? Okay, it's a both. The data will store in the physically, and the queries whatever you do from the Hive, that is logical. Both will be there. We are going to see that now. Okay, how we are going to divide our large data into partitions. So that's our first intention to do it. Okay, that's what we are going to do it now. Let's assume that, guys. Okay, the case one I'm going to show you. Everyone understand what is a partition? I hope partition is the breaking a large amount of the data into small manageable part to achieve the better performance based on the specified query. Based on the specified query, based on the column. Look at here. My query is country. My query is country. So I have to do a partition based on the country only. Okay, I am frequently querying based on the country. That's the reason my large data has to be break into pieces based on the country query. Okay, so the it has to be done based on the your conditions, your query pattern. It has to be always your query pattern. Okay, so we're simply you have divided partition on the India, you are divided partition on the ID, and you are doing a query on the country. There won't be really, it's not there, it's really not give you any better performance in that case. Correct? Understand, guys? So it totally depends on your query. You have to do a partition. Now let's look at, guys, here. The case one I'm going to show you. The division of the partition. The case one I'm going to show you. There are multiple cases to do the partition. Okay, case one. So Rishu, you understood. Now your question is going to answer. Look at, guys, here. I'm getting the files. I'm getting the files. Okay, these are the files. My source is giving me a files. My source is giving me a files. This is India file. This is India file. In this file, I have ID, name, salary. That's it. I don't have a country column in the file. Try to understand, guys. I don't have a country column in the file. I have one more. I got one more. I got one more. I got one more. Look at, guys, here. Okay, I am getting the files like this. I'm getting the files like this. First file is India. It's belong to India. Second file is belong to US. Third file is belong to UK. The fourth file is belong to, you can say, Canada. Okay, you can say fifth file is belong to Japan or China, whatever you take. Okay, whatever you take. Now the data does not have a country column. Try to understand. The data does not have a country value in the data. The data does not have a country column, but still I want to get the partitioning. Still I need to do a partitioning. Okay, since they are part files, what we will do, we will use the load command. Correct, we will use the load data in path of India file into table emp, and the similarly path of, again we'll do path India. So similarly we did here India path, we did US path, we will do UK, we will do CA, we will do CH, like that we will do. Correct? Yes or no, guys? Normally we will load individually. How many files are there? Those many conditions we will write, those many statements we will write. Correct? Now, so this is the data I got, but I know that this has so many records. Those records are belong to India, I know that. This has so many records. Those records are belong to US, I know that. Being an engineer or being a developer, I'm getting the part files based on the file name. Based on the file name, I know that they are belong to countries, specific countries. I know that they are belong to specific countries. Now I need to design a table such a way that while putting this data into that, I need to specify the country. I need to specify the country. Are you guys able to follow? Are you guys able to follow? I need to specify the country. Okay, how will I do that? For that, what I will do, I will create a table. Partition table. I will create a partition table. Data is already partitioned. Look at, guys, here. The data is already partitioned. Whole data contains India. The whole data contains US. The whole data contains UK. The whole data contains CA. The whole data contains China. Right? The data is already partitioned. The data is not mixed. I hope you guys are able to follow. The flat files is already partitioned. We are seeing a partition data. Now we need to create a partition table. How we will create a partition table? Look at, guys, here. Look at here. Normal command only, guys. Very simple command. Create table. Create table sample employee partition. Let me put in this. emp partition. emp partition and your column names. id, which is integer, name, which is string, salary, which is double. I don't specify the country column here. Why? Because my country column should be partition column. So you have to write a keyword called partitioned by. Partitioned by country, which is string type, Try to understand, guys. Your partition column should not be part of these columns. Your partition column should be not part of this column. You should not declare twice. If you're declaring twice, what is the problem? The compiler will throw an exception saying that you have a country column twice you have defined. So we never define the column twice in the table. Yes or no? We never define column twice in the table. We never define that, right? You have to define column name only once in the table. We have to define a column name only once in a table. Rishu, Rishu, Abhishek, right? Uh, uh, because it's a little important topic, so I want everyone to be there in this. That's the reason. Okay. So this country column, this country, right? The partition, the country column should not be part of your table definition. It should not be here. That's the reason we will not define twice. See, even your partition by column also a column only. The partition by column also a column only. But this column name should not be here. If it is there, it will throw an exception. So remaining everything is same, guys. Your row, format, row format, fields, delimited, fields terminated by FIELDS, fields terminated by comma, remaining everything is stored as. That's everything is same. Nothing changes. Now, while loading the data, we actually show the difference. While loading the data, load data, since it is a local, we'll say local in path. Local in path, we will give the path of India. Path of India into table mp underscore partition, mp underscore partitioned, partitioned. You have to specify the partition, country equal to, you have to hard code here. You have to hard code here. You have to hard code here. Otherwise it will not understand which data you are loading. Otherwise it will not understand which data you are loading. Otherwise it will not understand which data you are loading into this. Next, US data. Next, US data. You need to write load data local in path of US into table, and so on, so on. So you have to write all the files like this. You have to write for all the files. Is it clear? Let's see an example. Okay, let's see an example. So if I show an example, it will make you very much clear. So the same things are available in our document. What are the document I have given to you? You guys please have a look of those documents. What are the documents I have given, right? So you guys can see the same in your documents. The documents has the same information is available in the document. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to show you an example, guys, for you. I'm going to show an example for you guys. So look at, guys, here. First to look at the data. Okay, first to look at the data. First you look at the data. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the data. What is the location of the data? User, local, data, data, partition, and the data. First go and see the data. first go and see the data, guys. So why I'm explaining this much detail? It's really important. If you're not understanding, please raise your voice, please ask the question. Okay, look at, guys, this is the one, two, three data files. So here, instead of taking employee always looks simple. Okay, here I have taken stock data. Okay, these are all stock data. So what is the stock data? Stock will contain some fields. This is the symbol which company is giving you a stock. Stock, open price, close, high price, open price, high price, low price, closed price, volume. Try to understand one more time, guys. Try to understand one more time. Symbol, this will call as a symbol company, and this is the open price, the open of the stock, the stock open price, starting price, and it is the high price. It is a high price of that stock, and low price of that stock, and closed price. There will be at the end of the day, the price will be closed, the price will be fixed, right? The closed price. And what is the volume? How many stocks are there? Like that, how many are there? How many we can buy? How many are there? So that is the table data. Do you see any date here? Do you see any date? There is no date. Okay, there is no date in this. It means but file has a date. It means the file, this data is belong to NASDAQ 2016 December 5th date. This is whole data is belong to 5th date. The whole data is belong to 6th date. This whole data belong to 7th date. It means like it is like India, US, UK. It is like that only, right? This is a 5th date, 6th date, 7th date. Is that clear? The data, you guys understand the data? Guys, keep in mind, whenever you're going to solve a problem, whenever, whatever the technology, it can be Spark, it can be something, it can be something. First, you need to understand the data. First, you need to understand the data. So, the data, what is the data? What it contains. What is the data? What it contains. That it should be understand first. If you didn't understand that, it will be very big problem. You cannot write a logic. First, to try to understand the data. So, is everyone is clear about the data? 5th, 6th, 7th. This is the data. Now I'm going to create a table. Look at here. Create table. If not exist, the meaning of this is sometimes what will happen, if the table is already exist, what we will do? The table is already exist, it will throw an exception saying that table already exists, I cannot create. So if not exist, if you keep this statement in this, while creating a table, what it will do, if the table is already exist, it will just ignore, it will not create, it will not throw an exception also. The table name is stock underscore partition date load, because we are using a load command. Since we are going to use a load command, that's the reason it's load. And your symbol, open price, high price, low price, closed price, volume. So this is about the data. This is about the columns in the data. And partition by, look at, guys, here, partitioned by stock date. Now I'm going to partition by the stock date. If I didn't do partition by stock date, what will happen? Let's take an example here. Let's take an example here. Now, if I didn't do a partition, what will happen? My data, let me remove this part. If I didn't create a partition, what will happen? My data, it will come. This is my data file, which contains the 5th date, 6th date, 7th date, again 5th, like that it will be there. So it will contain all the dates. When it contains all the dates, when I do a query like select star from stock where date, stock date equal to, we'll say stock date, guys, date equal to 2016 12/05. When I do this, what will happen? It will start scan whole data. This will be scanned, this will be scanned, this will, all the data will be scanned. and to scan whole data, and it will show me the only fifth related data. It will give you only fifth data. It will give you only fifth data. Correct? It will give only fifth data. Right? If it gives only fifth data, to get the fifth data, since my condition is a fifth, it will give only fifth data. To get that, it may take more than 50 seconds or 1 minute or 2 minutes of time based on the data size. Right? If I do a partition, if I do a partition like if I do a partition like date wise, let's say this part is date, fifth related data, and this is sixth related data, this is seventh related data. When I do query like this directly will go on execute this. So directly go and execute this and give you. So it can finish in 20 seconds. It can finish very less time compared to previous one. Right? That is the reason I have partitioned. Okay, that's the reason I have partitioned stocked it. Okay, I have partitioned like this. And row format, delimited, fields, terminated, everything is same. So it depends on your data. Depends on your data. Is that clear to everyone? Is clear to everyone? Guys, if you guys get any doubt, please ask me. Don't hesitate to ask me. Please ask any doubt. Okay. So show database.
Hello.
Yeah.
Basically, what I have seen
Hmm.
that you have the all dates stock log file. All date files are different,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
For example, if one file is there, only in that you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 every data.
That we will talk later, Rishu. That we will talk.
Okay.
That use case I'll
Okay.
tell you. Okay. Now the scenario
Okay.
is now the case. That's the reason case one I have written there. Now the case is
Okay. Okay.
you have a file one, file two, file three with the different dates. Okay, what Rishu is asking, I understand his question. If a single file has the mixed data, how will you do? That we are going to see now. That we will see. Okay, that scenario is still pending. Okay, now this is our sgraph database in a Hive. We don't have a stock data here. Okay, now I'm going to create table. Now I'm going to create this. Do you understand Rishu? What I'm trying to say? Table is get created. Okay, table is get created. You can see that. You can see that you can see that describe. You guys might remember describe formatted. Look at guys here. It's clearly showing describe. When you do describe, these are the columns, these are the data types. Okay, this is the partition column. This is the partition column, this is the data type. And this is your database. These are all common. You guys know it. Manage table. And this is the Saturday, this is the Hive ignore. And look at here, this is partition by this. This is partition by this. This is partition by this. You can easily understand by describing whether the table is partitioned or not. Okay. Now I'm going to load the data, guys. I'm going to load the data. So how I'm loading the data? Look at the load command also. Load data local in path of the fifth date into table. This is the table part and partition. This is guys. Look at here. I have hard coded. I have hard coded, right? Here also I have hard coded for the sixth date. Here also I have hard coded for the seventh date. Here also I can hard code for the eighth date, ninth date, 10th date. Like that, if I have how many dates are there, how many times I have to write this query, because those many files are there. For each file, I have to write one query. Correct? Now I'm going to execute all three. This all of these three. Okay. The fourth one is wrong one. Okay. Actually, it is. I'll tell you why it is wrong. Okay. Okay, So let's execute this three statement at a time. You can execute. Okay, you can copy paste one statement executed, second statement executed, third statement also executed. Okay, now you can see that the data is there or not in this. Okay, it has a 114 records are there. 114 records are there. Okay, now when it has 114 records, right, how the data is loaded. Okay, it means the data is loaded. Now we will see in our console. We will see in our console how the data is loaded. We will see how the data is loaded. We go ahead and see here. User, Hive, warehouse, and which is our sgraph. In that, what is our table name? Stock underscore partition. Stock underscore partition is the table name. Table name is nothing but a directory. Table name is nothing but a directory. Now look at, guys. Please concentrate. This is more important. Just go inside. Again a directory. Again a directory. Again a directory. Look at here. D. Again a directory. Directory has been created with the directory has been created with the partition name. The directory has been created with a partition name. It means you will be having a outer table. Inside that you will be having a partition inner table. Yeah, not table actually. You will be having outer directory. In that you will have a subdirectory. This is fifth data. You have only fifth data in this. It is a file. It is a file. Okay. Go back. This is the sixth date. You have a sixth file. It is the seventh date. We have a seventh file, right? It means what I'm trying to explain here. It means your partitions are nothing but a folders. Your partitions are nothing but a folders. You guys understand? Table is a bigger one. Let me write this. Let's assume that this is my stock table. This is my stock table. So the table looks like this. This is stock table. The table always how it will be directory, no? The table is always directory, right? How many say yes, no? Table is nothing but a directory, right? The Hive table is nothing but a directory. Yes or no, guys? This is my directory. This directory name is stock underscore partition underscore load. This is our table name. Inside that, you have subtables, subdirectories. I should not say table. I should say directories. This is this is stock underscore date 05. Okay, that is stock underscore 05. I mean 05 means I had not written completely. 016 12 06 12. Okay, it means your table is become a super directory. In that the partitions are created as subdirectories. Yes, partitions are created as subdirectories. Guys, one more. Okay, if we have a subdirectory inside one more directory, you may get one more doubt. Sir, you said the country. No, I have a requirement like country equal to India and condition and state equal to Karnataka and city equal to Bangalore. I want this condition. What does it mean? This means you have a bigger partition which is called employee, which is a table. In that you have one more bigger partition called India. In that you have one more partition called one more directory called Karnataka. In that you have one more partition called Bangalore. You guys understand? Table, superpartition, subpartition. Okay, based on your number of levels of partition. This is the first level partition. In that second level partition. In that third level partition. Okay, it comes like that. It comes such a way that country slash state slash city. If you have district. If you have village, like that it will come, guys. Are you guys able to follow? Are you guys able to follow how the data will load internally? Yeah. Now,
Yes, yes.
now,
So basically, at the time for this thing,
hmm,
in the at the time of table creation,
hmm, hmm.
at
You
the
have
time of table creation, in the partition column, I need to give all the column names.
correct all the column names. Correct. Country, comma,
So,
date. That
any
also will say.
limit for that?
Sorry.
Any limit for that?
Uh,
Okay, four,
number.
five, six.
No, you can give. There is no actually limit for that. I think 22 or some limitation is there. Not exactly sure.
Okay. And one more question I have.
Hmm.
For example, for the date of 5th August, 6th August, 7th August, for every date we have approx stock market log approx 50 crores
Okay.
row.
Hmm.
So it will be in Hadoop SDFS system. It will be in store in a multiple nodes, data nodes.
Correct.
So basically, I want to know, for example, I have seen for one partition is different file, for second partition is different file,
Correct.
but I can access by one query, like a simple where date is a stock date is something like this.
Mhm.
So uh, I want to know for one partition, if I'm loading, it will be loaded in a HDFS, it will store in a data node. So for one partition, it will the different file. Second partition, it will store as a different file. Third partition, it will store as a different file.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So how it will be managed by Hadoop system, HDFS system? Because but just because if we are not putting in partition table anywhere condition, so it will show all the records, right?
See what you are doing here. Where class stock equal to stock date equal to a
Particular
value.
date.
So you see the same value here. You see the same value here.
Okay.
Stock date equal to
If I am not put, yeah,
same, exactly right. Exact same, right?
yes.
So it will just directly come to this folder. It will access it.
If I am not putting this where condition, then
It will query normally only. It will go and scan whole data normally.
Yeah, so in this case, the partition file is stored in HDFS system in three different files, like a three
Correct.
different files.
Correct.
One is for fifth, sixth, seventh.
Correct.
So how it will be managed by HDFS? I'm little bit confused for that.
No, how is that, how normal file will be managed the same way, right? See here,
Yeah,
what it is your table.
yes,
It is a table. Inside the table, you have so many
yeah,
subfolders, subfiles. That's no matter. For HDFS,
okay,
this is a parent directory.
yeah,
So, look at here. User is a parent directory.
yeah,
Hive is a subdirectory. Warehouse is a
yeah,
subdirectory.
yeah,
Similar way, it will for HDFS is just a path. For Hive, it is a table.
okay,
For HDFS,
okay,
it's just a path.
yeah.
Similar way, it will
But
manage.
Hive it will represent that file as a tabular form, right? Matlab, as a all the stored file it will combine Hive and it will show, right?
Correct. Correct.
But in
That
it can
your Hive
be,
manages Metastore. Do you remember? Your Hive manages
yeah,
Metastore.
yeah, I remember.
In the Metastore,
Yeah, I
it's
remember.
mentioned. In the Metastore, it's clearly mentioned. You want me to show that?
But even,
1 second.
but
No, no, no.
okay,
1 second. 1 second. Let me show that. Okay. No, I'll come to your question. Okay. So if I just show this one, you will get a little clear about it. I think this is the one. No. Show databases. Metastore only. Just Metastore. Okay. Now, this is your stock date. This is the one only. This is the only was we just created. No. What is our table name?
yes,
Right. This is our table name.
yeah,
The table name is available here. Right. Now. Now look at here. These are their column names.
yeah, volume, rows, high row, yes,
Right. Volume symbol. These are column names and data also there. Okay. Let me exactly show you the difference. 1 second. It is a very so many columns will be there. No. Yours is 82. 82. We need to check for only 82. We need to check for 82 here. This is 82. Okay. You got your columns.
yes,
Okay. Let's look at you one more. But you're not able to see your date column here, right? Stock underscore date column. You're not able to see that. Do you observe that? Do you observe that? You're not able to see date column here. Only you have a high price,
yes,
low price. Date column is not there. Now let's go here. There is something called partition. There is something called partitions. You look at here. 82. Okay, 82. This is your 82. You remember, Rishu? 82, 82, 82.
yes,
How many partitions I have?
yes,
Three partitions only?
three,
Okay, so
yes,
what is the partition name?
stock date, matlab particular date, 5th, 6th, 7th,
AE na? Same.
yes,
Same, right? While it is
yes,
fetching also, it will directly, actually that Hive will not directly talk to HDFS. You remember my first initial classes if you remember that.
yes, I remember,
Your Hive is not directly talk to HDFS. You first it will go to Metastore, takes the structures, takes the schema, then it will come to HDFS. You remember that, right?
yes,
Look at here. Part ID, partition ID, created time, last access time, partition name, what is the SD ID, what is the table ID. Table ID is 82, SD ID is I have shown before. Okay, and let me show you one more. Partition keys. Okay, these are all, that's what we need to understand from the metastore perspective. We need to understand metastore perspective. What is your partition keys? 82.
Yes.
Your metastore, the 82 only. What is that? Stock underscore date only,
Yes.
right? So what does it mean? What's happening internally? It means
Internally, it's
when you
having.
create it, it is clearly, detailedly maintaining information in the database saying that this is my table, these are my partitions, this is my partition column, these are my non-partition columns. That information is available already in the table. Tables, multiple tables, correct? Now, when it is maintaining the detailed information in the meta store, your Hive easily recognize it when you query it, right? When you query it, first it will go and understands when you query, okay, first it will go to the meta store. It will understand, hey, they're asking this table. Is the table is exist? It will check whether the table is exist or not. Yes, table is exist. And they're asking some columns. Is the columns are there for this table? Yes, columns are there for this. And they're telling there is some partition. Is there any partition for this? Yes, there is a partition. And they're asking for some stock underscore date equal to some value. Is that is exist? Yes, that is exist. Then bring the data. So that is what it will do. That is what your Hive will do. Is that clear? Yeah. Now you go with your question, Rishu.
Yes.
Now go with your question.
Okay, so here I would know if I'm accessing from Hive, everything is mentioned in a Hive meta store.
Hmm.
Means Hive is everything is maintaining Hive.
Hmm.
It's little bit non-relevant, but I want to know if these all our data is stored in a HDFS.
Correct. Ultimately, it is
So
what it is.
yeah, except Hive, I can directly access this data from the
Yes.
through HDFS.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
before we are retrieving the data.
Yes.
So in that case, how can we identify that this is the partition file of this particular thing?
No, you cannot identify. See, if you're talking through
Okay.
Hive, you can understand it is a
Yes.
partition like that. If you're accessing from HDFS, how will you understand? You really not understand that, right?
Yeah.
For you, it's a plain HDFS. It's for you,
Yeah.
it's a plain path. Okay, this is a parent directory. In this is directory. This directory. For you, it's a plain HDFS path, normal directory structure. If you are going through HDFS, if you are going through Hive, it is a partition. If you are going through HDFS, it is a folder name. That's what you understand. This is a folder name. The folder name they have given such a way that stock underscore date equal to, they have given the folder name like that. That will only you understand from HDFS if you are accessing through HDFS commands.
So it means that this through HDFS, it's a normal file for me, and I can work as before we can work as a single file
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm. That's what I told
Okay.
you before
Thank
also.
you. That was the confusion. I was confused with HDFS and Hive
No, no,
for
that's
this
what
partition.
that is what I have told you before when we created a normal table, managed table, HDFS tables. That time also I
Yeah.
have explained the same thing. You can access through HDFS, you can access through Hive. When you access through Hive, it is a structured table for you. If you access through HDFS, it is a flat files, it is a flat directories for you. Is that clear?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any doubts till here? I hope everyone is clear about this. Others, please respond to me. Yeah, good. So let's move on. Let's move on. So you can query like this. You can query like this. It brought the all the data. Oh, what happened? Why data is not there? Or I have given wrong command? Oh, it is not 06. It is 012 December. It's not 06. It's 0. It's 1 2. Yeah. It brought the whole fifth date. It brought only fifth date. Look at here. So what it did, it directly went to that specified partition, table, or I can say that specified date or partition. It brought the data. Okay, so let me show you one more thing, guys. Okay, now I'm not going to create a partition. Non-partition data I'm going to create. Okay, non-partition data I'm going to create. Okay, so let's look at here. You'll be having something called temporary table. One second, which is a partition only, and I want to show you is a non-partition one. I want to show you something non-partition. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, look at, guys, here. This is not partitioned. Look at here. You have a symbol, stock date, and you have open price, close. All this is not partitioned. This is not partitioned. Look at here. I'm going to create this table. So I want to make you an understanding, right? That's the reason I'm doing this. This is non-partition table created, and I need to load the non-partition data also. No, this is non-partition data. So Rishu, coming to you, the second use case. Now the whole data resides in a single file. The whole data resides in a single file. Look at here. What it is telling? Oh, it is already open another window. It's okay, no problem. Don't edit it. Look at, guys. It contains whole data. Date is there here. Look at, date is there. Rishu, are you able to see? Okay, whole data, all dates, all mixed dates. In this data I have all mixed dates. Now I'm going to load this into normal table. Now I'm going to load into I'm going to load this mixed data. Okay, it's a loaded. Now let's look at I mean, I'm just want to trying to show you the the difference between non-partition and partition. I'm trying to show you the duration. So performance, since I'm using a single node, I'm trying to show you the duration. So when I query this one, look at, it has taken 0.181 seconds. It has taken 0.181 seconds. Okay, 0 seconds, I mean close to 1 second. Let's assume that 0.181 seconds. Now I'm going with the temporary table. The table name is, I forgot the table name is stock underscore temp underscore 2. Stock underscore temp underscore. Okay. Now I'm going to query this where stock underscore date equal to this. Let's see. It's not there. Let's see what is the column name. Stock underscore date only. No, it is stock underscore date. And let's see first of all data is there or not. Data is there. Data is there. Okay, data is there, but it's a that date is a different date. Okay, why it is a different date? One second, guys. Inga, Inga. Okay, now I'll do one thing, guys. Okay, what I will do, I will just modify some of the columns. Okay, I just modify this. One second. um, I want to show you a difference. Okay, obviously we need to see the performance. The size is 17 and this size is 2 KB. Okay, so it means all mix. It has all the mix. Go here, some records, Control H, you make it 6. You make it 6. Okay, 1 second. Instead of that, one second, guys. It's okay. No problem, guys. We will query with the same only. Okay, already we have loaded, right? We'll use that only too. I'll show you the difference. We'll query this 2010-05. 2010-05. I mean, it is not mix. Should have a mixed data. I think it should have a mixed data. I know it should have a mixed data. Let's see that. I'm just scrolling up to see whether only other data is there, only this data is there. Yeah, it has other data also. 07, 08, 09, yeah, 012. It has other data also. Okay, let me query, or else I can do one thing. What we are trying to do here, performance test. Okay, to make you understand, we're trying to do performance test. Performance test. Okay, this performance test I'll show you. Now I'll call this I'll keep this as last column. Why? Because my uh, data has the last column. Okay, here let me prepare data. No need to prepare the data, same files I can load it, but to make you understand this this data, and there is one more. Where is that? 6 7. Close this. This is 7, this is 6. I should have a 5 also. The date. I don't have this data. Meeting. 1 second, guys. It's okay. What I'll try to do, I'll 1 second. 06 and 07, right? And this is 05. This is 05. Let me copy this, put into new file. Okay. I see everywhere 000000, right? So I'll see everywhere 00. Based on this, I will check. Control H. One second. 2016 1205, comma 2016, comma 2016 2016 1205. I need to keep this everywhere. Copy, Control H, paste it. Find, no, next. There is no next. Oh, we cannot go back. Let me manually paste it for some records. Let's manually paste for some records. I'm preparing data, guys. This is a challenge while we are dealing with no. I try to find the pattern, but I am not able to find. I'm manually doing it. Actually, the record count should be matched. That's the reason. To get the proper performance test, the records should be matched. So if others has a more records and others has a less records, you will not get the proper exact information. That's the reason I am preparing this way. Let's assume that you have a data with a mixed dates. Yeah, we're almost done. Done. Very good. This is also will store in USR local data static partition 05. We'll just change to 05. It is. Save. Okay, done. So now what I will do, I will prepare a single file with the dates. Okay, now let me prepare a single file here. I will take 06 file, copy into this new file, paste it here. You take 07, copy and paste somewhere in middle. It has to be mixed, right? That's the reason. And just take 05, save this whole data. Stack with the mixed dates. Okay, save it. Now I'm going to load this data into the file. Okay, I'm going to load this data into the file. So now I have created a table here. My date column is the last column. Here the name should come such a way that here NASDAQ with the mixed date. What is the file name here? It is with the mixed dates. I need to put that name there. mixed dates, mixed dates with mixed dates, correct, the spelling is correct, dates, right? Now let me execute these two tables. So I cannot say it is a, stock table. I'll just say stock. I'll just say stock. I'll here also I'll just say stock. Okay. Now let me execute these two tables, two queries quickly. I'll just make execute these two queries quickly. The table is created and data also loaded. So now the partition table and this table both have a same number of records and same number of data. Okay, same data. So guys, 1 second, I just got some guest came. I'll just talk and come back. By the time you guys can take a break. Yeah, I think all are in. Everyone is back from the break. Okay, look at guys here. Okay, just continue. Let's see the count. Okay, so to understand the number of records in this table and partition table, stock table. Okay, the stock. Okay, it's launching a map reduce job. Okay, for to identify the stock. Obviously, to find the count, it has to go and find out the all the part. I mean, all the parts of data, right? It has to do aggregation. It has to launch your map and no, it has to find the count. It will launch a map and reduce both. Anyway, we'll be talking about map reduce in later sessions. And let's look at here. Map is completed 100%. Now reducer is running. Now reducer also completed. Total 114 records are there. How many records are there? 114 records are there. So look at the same with our partition. This also. Our partition also, look at this. So it will also launch a map reduce job. It will also find the both. Let's look at this. Here also 114. Now we are very much clear that both has the same number of records, right? So let's look at guys here. Now this is the test will start now. So now I'm going to do a test on this. Okay, now I'm going to query this. I got it. It took 0.207 seconds. It took 0.207 seconds, right? Now let's do the same test with just the stock table. Just the stock table. Date is same, right? Yeah. It's also takes same time. It's also take almost same time. Oh, it is taken lesser only. Okay. Stock underscore date. .207. Okay. Very good. This is the partition. Since anyway, as I told you before, I'm using a single node pseudo cluster. We may not exactly estimate the performance, but still always it is given you 1G192. Let me do this. It's take 214. Yeah, the difference is there, right? It's take 214. The before one is take 192. So this is how we can see the difference. This is how we can see the difference. So let's try with one more, the third time. It is taken 0184. Let's try this one. This is 177. So it's based on, guys, like I think no, since we are using a pseudo mode, we may not exactly see the exact difference. Okay. Is that clear? The we see that we see that so your partition table has a little better performance. Okay.
One thing I want to ask,
Hmm. Go ahead.
basically just like a normal MySQL and Oracle,
Mm-hmm.
in Hive,
Mm-hmm.
also some cache memory option is available. मतलब cache is available. It's kind of if I'm running any one query
Uh-huh.
time, so next time it will take less time.
From the cache.
Yeah.
Such kind of thing, I don't think it is available. No, the such kind of cache mechanism is not there until unless if you are using the Spark or something else. Here it does not have
Okay.
its own cache mechanism in this Hive.
Okay. Thank you.
So you might have asked this question due to it is giving a different times different times, right? So based on the your
Yeah.
process,
Yeah.
what the process is doing at the time. Okay, it's not really caching any data. Okay, now what we have done, we have loaded some. If you see other example, if you see other example, yeah, this one. Oh yeah, this one which has a mixed data, which is not a partition table, right? This is not a actually a partition table. This is not actually a partition table, and we also seen that it has the data loaded into this. We also loaded into data this, right? We loaded into the temporary table. We loaded which does not have a partition. So let me go ahead and query in this table also to check the performance. To check the performance, it is the stock underscore temp underscore 2, right? Let's see, but it's not 12, it is a 10. Let me see the date. Let's see the date. That's the most important thing. 1011, 11. So November. So November. And this is not stock underscore load. So stock underscore temp underscore 2. It's taken 0.09 seconds. This is something different. Okay, it is fetching this only. Anyway, so we saw that the two different how the partition and non-partition, and if you go ahead and look at here also you can make a difference. If you go here, and this is our partition load table where you have a partitions and three different directories has been created, and temp underscore 2, it's not partition, the whole data resides in single table and a single directory. And and other one what we created just to stock, this is also not partition, it also has a whole data in the single directory. Okay, now your question, you have asked me right before, now how we will create a partition. So now our whole data resides in a single file, all data is mixed. This is what all this data has mixed with the dates, mixed dates are there is in this data. Then how will I do a partition on top of it? How will I do partition on top of that? So let's case 2 it is. Okay, now let's talk about the case 2. Let's talk about the case 2. Case 2, case 1 we are getting the individual data. Case 1 we are getting individual data, and where we are actually seeing, and where we are actually seeing different files we are getting, and we are loading them with a different load commands. But if I am getting a data, one second guys, I'm mine, where is my cursor? Oh, this has to be always this. Here is my cursor. Yeah, here's my cursor correctly. So when I'm getting the data in a single file, case 2 is whole data resides in a single file. I'm getting the data into I'm getting the data in the form of single file. Whole data resides in this. Whole data, all the countries, all the dates, single file it is there. Now I need to create a partition on top of that. For that, what we need to do now, this data file, let's say we'll call it a stock file. This file you need to load into temporary table first. Temporary means you can call it a stage table. Load into stage table. Load into stage table. Okay, so how will you load? You need to create a table without a partition. You need to create a table without a partition. This is without partition. Without partition. From this stage table, you will load into the partition table. This is partition table. This is partition table. From here, you will write into this. From here, you write into this. How will you write? Insert. We'll use insert. From here, you will write into partition table. Right? This is how we do. We will create a partition table out of it. Rishu, your doubt was, if I get the whole data in a single file, how will I do? Like this, like this. If I get the whole data into single file, if I get the whole data in a single file, how will I do? How will I process it? If I get a whole data in a single file, how will I do? So for that, what you will do? First, you will go ahead. First you'll create a stage table. Stage table like non-partition table you will create. First, you will create a non-partition table. Later, you will create a partition table. Later, you create a partition table. Later, you create a partition table. After creating a partition table, you need to do a insert. You need to do a insert. Look at here. This is the case one. The data does has a partition column. Insert. Okay. Now let's look at this, guys. This is how I need to do. Insert override table stock partition date. This is my stock partition date. This is not partition date. This is not partition and this is partition. You guys understand what I'm trying to say? Temp underscore 2 is not a partition table. Temp underscore 2 is not a partition table. It has all mixed data. Now I'm going to create a partition on top of that. How will I create? How will I create? So I need to create a partition table like this. We know that what is a partition column? What is a partition column? Stock date. Stock date. Now I'm creating a partition on stock date. Look at guys here. Then query is same. Query never change. Query is same. I hope you guys are able to follow. If you guys stuck with something, if you guys are not able to follow, please ask me immediately. Don't wait for till I stop or till I ask. Here, insert into, it's very simple. Okay, insert. It's not only partition table. Even normal table also you can do like that. Not only partition table. Not only you no need to be always a partition. Non-partition table also you can do that. You can fetch the records from one table to another table by using insert into command. Okay, this is how we'll write that. Insert override table stock. This is my partition table, current table. In that partition is this. You select. Look at guys here. This is more important. You select from here. You select from this table. Which is table? Temporary table. Where stock is this, or where stock is this, where stock is this, where stock is this. So you whatever the date you want to select, whatever the date you want to select, you have to write manually. You have to write manually. You are inserting into this table and you are selecting from other table by using where clause. Right? You guys able to follow? You may come across in the real time. They may ask you, hey, already table is available. Let's assume that, hey, table is already available. Here they'll tell you such a way that the table is already available, which has all the data. From this table you create a partition table. They may ask you, from this table, this is a non-partition table. Non-partition table. They may ask you from non-partition table to create a partition table. Create a partition table. partition table. They'll ask you to create a partition table. So what you need to do here, first you need to identify unique values. First you need to identify unique values. First you need to ask on which column I need to create a partition, sir. They will tell you, let's say date. They told you date. Now once they told you a date, from this table how many unique dates are there? Unique dates are there. How many unique dates are there? Based on that you have to go and create this table. Based on that you can go ahead and create on top of this. If you are doing a static partition, the new terminology came. What is a static? There are two type of partitions, guys. Two type of partitions. Static, other one is dynamic. If it is static, then only you need to ask how many you need to check how many unique dates are there. If it is a static, if it is not a static, if it is a dynamic, you really not to worry about this how many are there. You can just go ahead and write a query automatically. Your dynamic partition automatically fetch from the non-partition table. That we will see in the later session, not to worry at this point of time. Okay, what I'm trying to say here, you already have a partition table here. You already have a partition table here, a non-partition table here. From non-partition table, how will I fetch the records into partition table if it is a static? If it is a static, if it is a static, that's what we are doing. We are looking into static part. Dynamic part we will see sometime later. This is a static partition. Okay, look at guys here. I need to write these many queries. I need to write. So for each date, since it is static, no, I need to hard code. Since it is a static, right, I need to hard code. Your where class and your static column should be same. If it is not same, there may be a problem. See here, you are given 21 here, but you have given 7 here. That's wrong. You have to give like this. You have to give like this. Are you guys able to hear me? My net వచ్చింది చూడు. ఆ పొల్లు దొంకల నేను, నువ్వు తినిపో. నేను పొల్లు దొంకల పొయ్యొద్దు, తిను. అక్షంతలం తెచ్చింది. పోసుకో అక్షంతలు అయ్యా తింటాను. వచ్చిందా చూడు, నెట్ వచ్చింది చూడు. ఎందుకు రాదు మే? వస్తుంది మే. Hey, sorry guys. I think the network is disconnected due to my power is off. Are you guys able to hear me now? Am I audible to everyone? I hope I'm audible to everyone. Yep. So what you need to do, how many dates you want, how many date of partitions you want, how many unique dates are there, those many insert commands you have to write like this. Those many insert commands you have to write. The problem is here, when you write a insert command, each insert command is nothing but internally it will launch a MapReduce job. Internally it will launch a MapReduce job. So look at guys here, I'm going to paste it. Some problem. So the table not found. Stock underscore, oh, date underscore 2. Stock partition date underscore 2. That's the query. The table name is this. It is stock underscore partition 2 here. Stock underscore partition 2 here. We need to give underscore 2 here, here. Underscore 2. We created with underscore 2. Actually, while explaining with the different students, right, I'll be changing here, but I will be missing to change somewhere. That's the only thing. Underscore 2. And also, if you see the stock temp, actually it's a stock underscore temp 2. So stock underscore temp 2. It is actually stock underscore temp 2. So I will miss to change sometimes. Okay, the same file only I will be using for everyone to explain. So when I will get a different idea, differently explaining, I'll be changing this. Okay, let's paste it. This also gives error. Don't worry. No launch. Yeah. So each insert statement will launch a mapped job. Each insert statement will launch a mapped job. It will take a quite a long time. Why? Because we have launched 4 5 insert commands. Now that's fine, guys. Let it go. It will goes fine. I really do. I mean, really it will take so much of time to go through all the insert commands. Anyway, it will execute. Now, Rishu, is your doubt is clear? First, what you need to do, if you have a whole data into the same file, if you need to, if you have, this is a stock file that needs to be loaded into some stage table, we'll call as a stage table, or you can call any table, normal table. From the table you will create a partition table, and by using a insert command. Insert command is quite easy, guys, very simple, as I explained you here. Insert overwrite, either you can use overwrite or not, that's up to you. So overwrite is not mandatory, this is optional. If you use a overwrite, if you find the same column or same data, not column, same data, it will overwrite the data. Instead of writing, instead of creating a duplicate copy, it will overwrite. Insert overwrite table and the table name. Partition, you are specifying the partition. From which table you need to select, you need to do a select query. You need to do a select query, which is something similar to, create as table. Do you guys remember there is something called create as table? What is a create as table? So you can create a table from an existing table. You can create a table from an existing table by using create as. You specify the table name and a select query. Okay, take it as an exercise and do it. Create as, create table name as select from other table. So what will do, while creating a table itself, you will get the data into the table. Okay, I think it is done. It's waiting for enter the enter. It will, once it is due, I mean once it's finished, I will show you here. Once it is completed, I will show you here. This is our table. Look at here, 5 6 7 21. All data has been loaded into. Now this is partitioned. From non-partition table to, we created a partition table. Any doubt so far? Any doubts? So you guys have this file with you, right? So you guys have the file this with you. So you guys have a data also with you. I already shown the data, where the data resides. The data is there in your drive. Your data is there in your drive. Go to your drive. Yeah, this one. So I need to, actually I have signed it out. Sign in back. What is I forgot the name of this. Yep. To drive, big data, sorry, not this. Big data solutions, data, and in this, you have something called, one second guys, is this the one? Yeah, data, static partition. In this you have NASDAQ. You have NASDAQ. Okay. From here you can download this data both you download, and you also have some data sets here to download. Please download them and try to do it. Okay. That's it. Let's move on, and the data is properly loaded. So you can also create a multiple partitions, as I told you. How we can create a multiple partitions. Look at guys here, and I have a country, state, city. Partition by country, like this. Okay, and your values can be India, Karnataka, Bangalore, like that. You can insert like this by selecting from other table. You can do insert, or while loading also you can do that. While loading also you can do that. Okay, while loading or while inserting also you can do that. So please try do a hands-on of this. And you have some more examples here is given. So here there are some more examples. So now a question to you guys: do you see any limitations here? Already there, I'm displaying the limitations here. Do you see any limitations of partition? Yes, there are limitations. What is that? We need to write a lot of load commands. Let's say in case one, you take case one. Like this I have 1,000 countries. Like this I have a 50 countries or 60 countries. I need to write a 50-60 statements: load, or insert, right? Either load or case one or case two. If I have a 1,000 unique values, I need to write 1,000 insert statements. Either I need to write so many load commands or so many insert commands. That's one limitation. While doing that, we may commit mistakes. What mistakes, guys? Just now I shown here. What mistakes we may commit? I'm selecting here 21 partition. I said 21. Okay, I may give wrong data here, 07, or I may give 07 here. Copy paste. Most of the cases what we will do, copy paste only. No, if the same statement is repeating 10 times, 11th time we will not worry, just copy paste. We will just change the value somewhere. But we may forget to change some other place. When we do such kind of mistake, what will happen? The wrong data will go. Here we are selecting 21, but we are putting into 7th, which is wrong. Let's look at, I will execute this. Okay, let's look at, I'm executing this. Let's look at, we may commit a mistake. I'm fetching the 21 data from the actual raw table, non-partition table. I'm putting into 8th, which is wrong. When I query 8th, it actually gives me 21. When I query stock date is 8, it will actually giving me 21, which is a mistake. So such kind of mistakes we may commit. To avoid those mistakes, we have come up with something called dynamic partition. There is something called dynamic partition. What is a dynamic partition? You really no need to hard code any value at the time of your querying. Your partition or your query will automatically identifies the values and it will create it. So how it has to be? How can I say whether it's a dynamic partition or static partition? By default, a dynamic partition is disabled. We need to make it. What you call enable. We need to enable it. How will I enable it, sir? Very simple. You have our Hive setup. Go to Hive configuration. In that configuration, site XML. Open the site XML. In the site XML, you need to paste these properties: dynamic partition true, dynamic partition mode. We will talk about this a little time later. First, try to understand what is this configuration, dynamic partition. Then partition, total partitions, and partition per node. These configurations, from where I will get these configurations, or how will I know these configurations are there or not? You have to go through your default XML file. You have to go to your default XML file. In the default XML file, search for dynamic partition. Search for dynamic partition. You'll get to know everything. Okay? Dynamic partition. Dynamic partition. Whether the dynamic partition is enabled or not, it will clearly gives you the details. Copy from here, paste into your XML file, site XML file, and change the values. Or if you don't want to change an XML file, you just want to make use for the temporary, you can do a set command. We know, right? We can set the commands here. We can do the set commands. So this is also one of the interview question I have been asked in 2013, not now, 13 or 14, I didn't remember exact the year. They have asked, how will you set the set the values in the console? Set command, very simple. Set and take the property equal to value. Set, take the property, value. Set, take the property equal to value. These values are temporary. These values are temporary. Once you close your terminal, once you close your Hive shell, it will go. Once you if you want to make it permanent, like permanent in the sense every time you want to the values, then what you need to do? You take this, go to site XML and change it. Go to site XML and change it. Okay, is that clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone? Now let's go ahead and look at the examples, guys. Let's go ahead and execute example, guys. This is my, so here also you have a load. Okay, here also you have a load, but dynamic partition, no. While loading, how you can specify the dynamic? While you're fetching, you can say specific. While you're fetching, you can say dynamically you fetch it, but while loading, you cannot say dynamically fetch it. Why? Because the load we are executing. When load, it's just like a put command. While loading, it is just like a put command. We are really not telling that how it has to be partitioned. We're really not telling that, right? So the dynamic partition will work on insert to command only, not on the load command. Okay, let's look at, guys, quickly. I'm going to do that. I'm creating a normal table exactly same as your static partition, nothing changes. This is, I'm going to create is a non-partition table. Look at here, there is no partition here. This is non-partition table. This is non-partition table. Non-partition table is created, data also loaded. You can query this stock stage. Go here, you go back, look at here, you have a stage, stock underscore stage, which has a non-partition table. It's not partitioned. Now I'm going to do a partition on top of this dynamically. I really no need to write so many queries. Only one query I'm going to write. Look at, guys, here. This is the table, create table, table name and all. This is same. Everything is same. Symbol, all the same. Partition by same. Row column stored as text. Everything is same. Nothing changes. Everything is same. Nothing changes. Only your insert query will change. I'll tell that how it will change. Table is created. For the static and dynamic, your table creation never change. Table creation never change. The same. Table creation is same. Only changes here. Insert, override table, table name, dynamic partition, partition, and partition column. You are not hard coding here. Are you hard coding? Are you hard coding here? No, we are not hard coding. And we are telling that select the data from stage table. And one thing you need to keep in mind, that one thing is very most important thing. Your date column, whatever the partition column, that should be last column while selecting the data. That is a precondition. While you are selecting, from the other table, right? Your partition column should be last value. The partition column should be lost value, otherwise it will throw an exception. I mean a mismatch, wrong data will come. You'll get the wrong data. So let's look at, guys, here. It's launching a MapReduce job. So what I'm trying to show here, I'm not writing multiple insert commands. I'm writing a single insert command only. It is automatically taking. It is automatically taking. How it will take automatically, sir? Because I have enabled my dynamic partition. Because I have enabled my dynamic partition. Let's go to your here, refresh, and you see dynamic data underscore dynamic. Click on this. Wow, so many partitions are get created. So many partitions are get created. I really didn't do anything. I didn't execute these many partitions. So it's get created automatically. They get created automatically. How they get created automatically? Your dynamic partition has to be enabled. Your dynamic partition has to be enabled. And one more thing, guys, it should be non-strict mode. It should be non-strict mode. It will be non-strict mode. Let's look at, I'll make it a strict mode and try to execute it. Let's look at it. I'll make it strict mode. I'm going to execute it. I'm making it strict mode. Oh, let me do it. No problem. I can execute any number of times I want. Now it is strict mode. Okay. Now it is strict mode. Now when I change the strict mode, right? So I need to, let me create this with the different names. Okay. If the already named, right? So already name is already available, right? So I just need to change this name. Yeah. Let me create two tables. Let me do the insert. I mean, the tables already exist. No, that's the reason I have renamed, nothing else. Now, look at guys here. Dynamic partition strict mode require at least one static partition column. It is telling that, hey, someone, it is stricted. It is already strict. You should specify at least one column should be non-strict mode. One column should be partition, static partition. What is the meaning of it? Try to understand, guys. This is the most important interview question. The people may ask you, what is the difference between static, dynamic? Everyone knows that. And what is the difference between strict mode and non-strict mode? Strict mode and non-strict mode. Strict mode versus non-strict mode. Okay, look at guys here. Non-strict mode. First, try to understand what is a non-strict mode. Non-strict mode. Spelling is correct. Am I writing correct spelling? Strict. I'm writing correct spelling only. Strict, non-strict mode. It means, let's look at guys. First, let's take an example. Okay. Let's take an example. I'm taking example of the country and all only. Okay. I have a multi-partition data, multiple partition data. I have a country. I have a state. I have a city. I have a district. Okay. I have this. So now look at guys here. Country is India. State is Karnataka. City is Bangalore. And district also, let's take a bank or whatever it is. Okay. Now countries, it can be possible India. State, you can say Maharashtra. And city, you can say Pune. And district, you take something else. And you can say one more India. And you can take Andhra Pradesh. One second, guys. Just I'm feeling uncomfortable here. Okay, let's take Andhra Pradesh. City, you take any city. I take city Tirupati. And district also something, Chittoor district. Take India, take Telangana, and take Hyderabad, and take some district or what, some district, different district. Okay, so here In a country, you have different stages, correct? In a country, you can take US like that, you can take UK like that, right? Now, while I'm loading the data, non-strict mode, while I'm loading the data, how it will get, how it will get create. Let me use this diagrams first. Anyway, you know that you will be having a very big employee table. You know that you will be having very big employee table. This is employee table. Okay, in that country is a high level partition. I'm taking two countries only, but since due to the space. Okay, this is one country. This is country, and let me take one more country, guys. 1 second. I'll take one more country. Two countries I'll take. Okay, for to make you understand. I need to draw like this one, right? Let's assume that this is okay. Don't write it anything. What I mean. Just go here. Okay, the top one is India. You assume that it is India. Country equal to India. This is US. Okay. Now, in India country, you have a state, right? You have a state. You may have a multiple states. You may have a multiple states. This is state 1, state 2, state 3, state 4, state 5, state 6. States. The blue color one are state. You can say them. States, you can say it is a Karnataka, it is a Maharashtra, it is, you take AP, you take Telangana, you take any other state, guys. UP, you take another some other state. Okay, you have these many states. Let me take the same example. You take same thing here also, but the names will change it later. It's US. Okay, in US you have different states. You take a New York. I mean, I really don't know different states, but I'm just taking some random states. Okay, let it be the random states. In each state, again you have a city. For each state, again you have a city. Oh, take a different color. This color. City 1, city 2, city 1, city 2. Different states, cities can be there. Due to space, I'm taking only one or two. They're all cities. I need to change the names of states, guys. Otherwise, it will give problem. So while watching, how come US has a country? How come US has something else? This is some XYZ. and this is something Illinois, this is something California, this is something say something New York, and you say something, this one is some ABC country, ABC state. I don't know. I don't know much cities or states in US. That's the reason. Okay, this is this. And what has happened again inside the state? We may have districts. We have a small district. 1, 2, 3. You may have like that. Correct. Now here the problem is in the non-strict mode, it will get create. You may have like 1,000 or 10,000 partitions, may have everything including 1, 2, 3, including all subsets of folders, including you may have 10,000. So when it is a non-strict mode, you are not stricting anything, there may be a chance of creating so many. Let's assume that I have a 50 countries. I have a 50 countries. In that each country I have states, or each country I have a state on an average 30 states or 20 states, and an average you take 20 states, and each state I have cities, each state I'm talking about each city I have each state I have another 20 cities, and each city have districts or 15 districts. Let's assume that. Okay, now tell me guys, for one country, 1 into 20 into 20 into 15, what is the value of this? Open calci. Why to take our mind? Calci is there, no? 20 into 20 into 15. What's happened? 20 into 20 into 15. 6,000. Here 6,000. Okay. For 50 countries, how much? Why sir? Into 50 you do know? 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs folders are get created. 3 lakhs folders are get created since you are not restricted anything. How many is get created? 3 lakhs folder. I mean, actually we can have some other configurations to control that, but it is ending up with a how many? 3 lakhs. If we create a so those many folders, it is a burden on the name node or not? It is a burden on the name node or not? Guys, tell me, it will be a burden on the name node or not? Name node has to maintain the references, right? Name node has to maintain the metadata. It is a burden on the name node, right? So it is wrong. Suppose someone is created this much of our cluster will start blast. It will start failing. It may not respond properly. So in the non-strict mode, it will go ahead and create all the folders automatically. That's what happened here. When I show, that's what has happened. Created all automatically. It created all the folders here. All the folders. How many are possible? All are get created. But when it comes to a strict mode, what a strict mode is telling, while you are creating, if you make it strict mode while you're creating a dynamic partition, oh shit, okay, this is the problem. When you do a strict mode, 1 second guys, I'll just move this. In the strict mode, you tell how many partitions I have to create, but you need to specify at least one static partition. You guys understand the problem with the non-strict mode? Everyone? Where is the cursor? Yeah. Now strict mode. Let's say a strict mode. Let's say strict mode. STRICT. Strict mode. What will happen? Strict mode. The strict mode says that while you are doing the partition, your parent should be hard coded. Give me a minute, guys. I'll just back. By the time you guys try to understand what is this, try to go back and try to recollect what it is. So in non-strict mode, we're ending up with creating so many unnecessary partitions. We may not necessarily all the things. We may interested only few parts, right? So we may interested in only few details. So since it is a stage table, it may have a so many countries, but I am not interested in all the countries. I'm interested in to create a partition on the one or two countries. So what is a strict mode? Dynamic strict mode is telling, while you are creating dynamic partition in a strict mode, let's create such a way that country equal to India, leave the rest of them alike, like that. Like city, city, dist. At least one partition is actually partition. No, here you will get the partition. Some blah blah blah. Make one as static. It's always preferable to make it the parent as a static. So now, see, you cannot. You can do one more way. Country equal to India, and I'm interested in only state Karnataka. I'm interested in only state Karnataka. I'm not in city and all. Like, let it be all the cities I want. I'm not interested in all the states also. I'm interested in only Karnataka. So you can also do such a way that, but you cannot do that. You cannot leave country like this, and you cannot specify like this. State equal to Karnataka. You cannot specify. Once the dynamic partition is started, it's a dynamic. No, you are not hard coding. You cannot hard code like this. It's wrong. You cannot do that. So you always make sure that the static partition start first and dynamic partition follows. If the dynamic partition started, you cannot make the static partition. That's the rule. Okay, you guys able to follow? So now in this case, in the previous first one, case one, where is that? Here I'm fetching only India records. Here I'm fetching in India only Karnataka records. I'm fetching, right? So we can make a strict mode like that. Are you guys able to follow what I'm trying to explain? Right? So, okay. In a strict mode, you can restrict to which part of the partition you want to fetch. I want to fetch only India. You can do like this. Specify the country as a India while insert command. This has to you have to do it here, guys. Here, here. Let me put the same thing another way. Look at guys here. What happened? Look at guys here. This is my partition. One second. Let me do it another way. Here, let's assume that I may have a country, comma state, comma city, comma dist. Right? This is a dynamic partition with a non-strict mode. Here, strict mode comes such a way that if I go with this query, I will end up creating 3 lakhs records. I'll end up with creating 3 lakhs records. Okay, 3 lakhs partition, 3 lakhs folders, 3 lakhs folders. Inside the data, it may be more. Okay, If I go with a strict mode, what I will specify here like this. Now I will get only India records. Now I will get only India records. Yes or no? Now I will get only India records. Hey, where is that? Whatever you have written. You lost that? Whatever you have written, where is that? We lost it? Why we lost it? Okay, anyway, you guys got it right? What I'm trying to say? Yeah, anyway, this is copied. This is the non-strict mode. So when I say strict mode, when I say strict mode, here, I'll restrict it to get country only India records. I will restrict like this. In this case, I will get only India records. In this case, I will get only India records. Suppose I want to get only India plus Karnataka. What I'll say here, India, here, Karnataka. Like this we can do. Like this we can do. Okay? Is it clear, guys? This is the difference between the strict and non-strict mode. This is the difference between the non-strict and strict and non-strict mode. Okay? Any doubt till here? Any doubt till here? Any doubt? Abhishek, Rashmi, Vikas, Rishu?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Rashmi here.
Yeah, tell me, Rashmi.
Like over here, when the can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you. Could you please
Can
come
you hear
close?
me?
Yeah, yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Okay. Over here, for example, Bangalore, Karnataka, and India. This
Hmm.
is the this is a table value in which all of these field values should come in the last four columns, right? And then this partition will be there.
In the select core you are talking, right? Here.
Yeah, in the last four columns, these four values should be there,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Okay.
Let me show the same query.
And
Let me show the same query here. Here, while you're querying, right? Okay, not let me say this. Okay, let me do it in the paintbrush itself. Anyway, I already shown, right? That's the reason I want to do it here only. Okay, yeah, I need to modify this. Here, actually, it should not be a stock date. It should not be stock date. It should be date and all, right?
open another.
Exactly, exactly. 1 second. I'll just drag down it. Yeah, now actually the query should be here. Now query should be here such a way that now look at guys here. Here when you are doing a country, let's take you are fetching only India. Okay, and state you are leaving like that. City you are leaving like that. District also you are leaving like that. So when it comes here, it should be country, comma, state, comma, city, comma, It will be like that. It has to be like this. Understand?
last four columns. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Rishu. You are having some other doubt.
I think Vishnu is here.
Rishu, you're asking some other doubt.
I think he's left.
I think he's left.
Oh no, yeah,
Hello.
he's there. Yeah, Rishu.
Basically, I can say that in static partition and dynamic partition is much better,
Correct.
right?
We'll be using a dynamic partition only based on our requirement.
But in terms of strict and non-strict mode, we can't say ki which one is good. It's depend on our data and our requirement, right?
It depends on the requirement.
Yeah, we can't say ki this one is better or that one is better.
Yeah, correct, correct. So based on the situation, you have to use which one you want to use. You have both options are
Oh,
enabled.
okay.
Any doubts? Anyone has any doubts? So you guys have multiple examples here. I want you to try with the multiple examples. You have a data also in this file. Okay, please try with that. And you do have a notes also, guys. Okay, the beautiful thing is you do have a notes. Okay, go to big data solutions, go to notes, go to hive notes, and you have notes, and you have a partition here. You have a detailed notes here as well as some of the documents in the bottom. Here you have what is here also you have the detailed explanation about them. Please go through them. Please try to complete this part by tomorrow. So now above limitations we have solved. We don't need to write a multiple queries, and we are getting we never commit any mistake. By default it will fetch automatically, right? Both the limitations has been solved. Is that clear? And also let me finish this part as well. You also have something called show partitions. You can you can see the partitions, you can alter the partitions. Let me do it here. Here you can say show partitions under partition table. What is your partition table? This one does not have any partitions. One second. This is what is the table name? Dynamic. Yeah, all the partitions are showing here. All the partitions are showing here. Okay. Yeah, actually, the command is not executed here. It's showing error, right? It does not get created. That's the reason it's not showing anything. Here, see here, all the partitions are showing. You can show the partitions. You can drop a partition. You can where is that? This document. You can drop. You can delete. You can also fetch, show partition, specific partition also you can see. Specific partition also you can see. You can describe also. You can describe also the partition. So let's look at the describe partition. You need to specify with the partition. Describe formatted partition table. No, one second. Describe. Let me call this. I think no need. I think I can. Let's take one second. What I will do, this partitions, this table formatted, this table, and here I need to specify the partition. What is the partition? Above. Let's take this example. Oh, sorry. Oh, one second. Oh, I came out. Control Z by mistake. I pressed Control Z. It came automatically. No problem. Anyway, it will be there. It will load. You guys take it an assignment and try it, guys. So otherwise, you guys can try it. You can format it, you can drop, you can add also, you can alter. Look at here. You can alter, you can add a new location, you can alter the partition name, add, you can add the partitions, you can change. Okay, you can drop a partition, alter partition name, I mean partition the table name, drop. You can drop a partition also if you don't like. You can archive the partition. Archive, we have seen in Hadoop archive. You can archive the partition, right? So these all you can do that. And also the following statements prevent the partition for the being dropped or queried. You can say no drop, offline. You can also see that. You can also enable them. You can also enable these features. So if you enable these features, enabling no drop, enabling offline, they will not be queried. They'll not be queried. So these many options you can do as part of your partitions. Any doubt till here? Any doubts? Okay, this file is anyway I have shared with all of you guys. So please have a look and please try to execute all of them. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be seeing the bucketing, and bucketing also most important topic. Tomorrow we'll be talking about that. Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for your time. I'll be uploading this video today. I'll be sharing this video for with everyone. Yeah, thank you.
No,
Without.